a leg shaker. So
So
I said I'm just a leg shaker, so I probably will do that regardless.
I'm a little nervous. I hope you ain't scared of me. Ain't nothing to be scared of. I promise you. They call me the gentle giant. I don't know how to feel about that at times. Like, I'm not intimidating at all. Same thing. Put it on the left or right, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Make sure there's not too much static. Alrighty.
You're gonna be mic'd up.
Hell yeah. So I tell anybody who's a content creator, hey, invest in mics. They make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, so hopefully this makes you feel comfortable, but the camera's been rolling, so
That's fine.
we're good to go.
We're good.
Go ahead and sit down. Grab my other phone for time. So I typically don't do like any introductions. So if you want, I'm in your bubble.
You're fine.
Yeah, you know I ain't even gonna play with these. Everything is content, so you know. There we go, right about there. So how I normally do my intros is one, thank you for coming to my channel. You can look at me and see this, how you know. Guest number 41, still nervous, but you can look at me the whole time when we talk. You can look at the camera. So I started doing this in the fitness community, powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, Olympic lifting, martial arts. I started doing this is because, well, one, it's very inspiring to see somebody to take a common likeness and no matter how small or how big it is, take it, either compete, because at the end of the day, especially in powerlifting, it's something that a lot of people are not doing.
Right.
So I felt your energy and it was approachable, and I said, let me talk to this person and, you know, see if I could ask her to put her story on my platform. So here she is. So with that being said, humbly and respectfully, thank you so much. I promise you I'm gonna get better with the questions as we go along.
You're fine. You're doing great.
Other than that, what I do is I set the clock for 15 minutes, and as the timer go off, again, I go off, flowing energy. I will ask like, hey, we can keep going, and the time will just restart until you feel like, hey, cap out, but at the end of the day, let me get this clock going. Clock and timer, there we go. Timer has started. Okay. So please introduce yourself, and after that, you could introduce however you want. You could say minimal, you can say a lot. I prefer you to say a lot, that way I can ricochet with the questions. But introduce yourself, and I'll go from there. Please tell us who you are, where you're from, your likes, and then as we get to the beginning, the middle, of the end, that's where I'll come up with my questions, and I'll make this as fun as possible for us, I promise you. Okay. But other than that, please introduce yourself, and I'll go from there.
Should I look at the camera?
Do whatever you want, sis. I'm just gonna go like this.
Okay, I am Samantha, you know that. I am 35. I've been powerlifting for probably a solid year and a half, but working out for like 3 years, heavy training. I started out just at commercial gyms and fell in love with powerlifting. I'm a mom of 5, you know that.
Hey.
Yep, and I teach JV and varsity soccer in town in Fayetteville.
Say less. What school?
Freedom Christian, and then the Crusaders homeschool. It's like a private team. I teach their varsity and JV girls.
So if you don't mind me asking, I'm gonna use that as how about this, like your childhood, like was there any fitness aspects like sports that you participated in?
Yeah, so let's start with there. I played soccer some, I played volleyball, and then I did CrossFit as a teenager.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So what was soccer like for you?
Soccer was great. I love soccer. I've always loved soccer. I've grown up watching it, grown up wanting to play. I wish that I had gone further with it, but I even play now as an adult. Occasionally you can like play pickup games and stuff like that in Fayetteville.
Shins of steel, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you're saying is if I get kicked in the face, but it's over.
It's
over. I'm so kidding. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So if you don't mind me asking, like again, this is just the base, so we'll get to the meat and potatoes. So like your training regime for like soccer, like what does it entail? A lot of running, a lot of cardio?
Yeah, so typically so personally for myself, I have to work on my own mobility because women can have more common injuries in your knees, your ankles, your hips, especially with keeping a good stance, like
in the sport or in general?
In the sport.
Okay.
In general, absolutely, but in the sport especially, because in soccer, you're taking an open stance to receive the ball accurately and to pass the ball accurately, and so it's really easy to roll a type of joint, pull a ligament, whatever. And so for me personally, as a coach, to be able to get out there and play with my players, I take mobility really seriously. Before the season starts, about 3 months before, I try to make sure that I'm in shape. Just me personally.
Training for 3 months?
Yeah, so
That's
that way I can
yeah.
do sprints and cardio to, like, I kick it up a notch, just to make sure that I'm just as active as my girls are, so I can be out there showing them what they need to do, playing games with them, scrimmaging, stuff like that.
Are you a soft-spoken coach, or are you in your face?
Oh, I'm in your face.
Boot to ass
I
type
am
coach?
very, very aggressive. As far as like training goes, how I set up my
Coach Samantha mean as hell.
I know. All my girls do say that I am their favorite coach that they've ever had.
Okay.
But I am very, very tough. I don't deal with nonsense. I try not to deal with drama. With females on soccer, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of grudges, and so I try to make sure that there's none of that on my own team.
Oh, but against the got you. Okay.
Right. So typically how I would run a practice is we do all of our mobility stuff, and then they have their cardio beforehand. So they're running a mile beforehand, they're sprinting beforehand, because if you can't train when you're already tired, then you can't play soccer when you're already tired. So,
okay. So if you don't mind me asking, and another thing about me, I got the attention span of a squirrel, so if it seems like I'm re-asking the question, apologize. But like, so in the realm of soccer, do you think that kind of like played into your fitness journey and into your powerlifting journey? Because again, it sounds like you had like a lot of endurance training, so a lot of endurance and resiliency training to an extent. So did that kind of assist and play into your fitness journey and in your powerlifting journey?
Absolutely. So as a mom, it's easy to get swept up in your own, like taking care of kids and stuff like that. And I had put on more weight than what I wanted to. I wasn't as active, very tired. I also have PCOS. And so I was constantly battling against my own body. And I think that knowing that I needed to take things seriously as a mom, as a coach, my health, it just was like the catalyst into weightlifting and lifting heavy and making sure that I was on top of my protein and all that stuff. Especially because the more research that you do with a condition like polycystic ovarian syndrome is really, really easy to help change it.
Is that common, that condition?
Yeah, I believe that the statistic is either 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 women actually have PCOS.
Okay. I'm a little slow because I'm going to have to Google that
You're
more.
fine.
So like, what else does it do? Like, so is it like a major hindrance?
It is a major hindrance.
Okay, yeah.
It makes women feel very, very exhausted, very tired. Your insulin levels are hard to maintain. Okay. So women with PCOS typically actually are in the gym more. Okay. Typically are doing crazy cardio, are eating nothing, like they're in a crazy calorie deficit, and we'll see no change, or they'll even pack on weight. And what's crazy is the misinformation about it causes women to go that route, when really the best thing for PCOS is to make sure that you're eating your body weight in protein. You're trying to live a very stress-free life. And I know, which is difficult, but trying to maintain stress in the best healthy possible way, which for me is the gym and lifting weights.
Yes, ma'am.
Packing on muscle helps with PCOS. So I think trying to just discover that just kind of pushed me towards that route of like weightlifting, taking care of myself, and I watched my weight go down. Like right now I'm on a cut after competing. And I'm already down like 16 pounds. Before, that was something that was impossible. You know what I mean?
Did you? I'm sorry. So
no, you're fine.
Again, the questions come as we talk.
You're fine.
So with all of that, did you have, before I guess a powerlifting coach came? You got a coach?
Yeah.
Say less. All right. So before a powerlifting coach came into play, I'd assume that like a nutritionist had to come into play. So that's to me, again, with the guy attention span of a squirrel. Right. But that's a lot of information. I feel like is that's a lot of information to retain. So unless you do your own research and you're good at retaining information, I'd imagine you did have to get a nutritionist and all that other stuff.
So I actually didn't get a nutritionist.
Self-made.
No, I did not. Okay. I did my own research with PCOS. In fact, Heather Connor from Lion's Den, she also has PCOS. and she has struggled. And the misinformation, she and I have talked about the misinformation that doctors give women with this condition, and it's life altering. I mean, it's awful. Okay. And when you start doing your own research and figuring out what works for your body, it's like a huge blessing. And so yeah, I did not have a nutritionist. I did the research myself and figured it out, and I just kind of made it work. I figured out what supplements to take, what to eat, when to eat, how to train, and I just made it work for my own body.
I kind of want to touch on this again. I think of these as I go. So with this condition, if you're not well informed and you don't know what to do, would you say something like this probably could like affect the mental a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm asking.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
In fact, I mean, I feel like a lot of us in the gym probably struggle with anxiety, depression, all of those things.
Amen.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But with PCOS, mine was just so bad that mentally even just affecting my day-to-day life. And so, yeah, it makes you also physically exhausted, which I think makes women feel less than, like they're not doing enough, you know.
And just to clarify, this condition is more common in females, correct?
Yeah, men cannot have polycystic ovarian system. Yeah,
right.
It's just for women.
So just with that little tidbit, that's very inspiring that you're in here, because y'all, if y'all see the weights if y'all see the weights that she's putting up, like she may be depressed, she may have all that, but you would never fucking know. I tell you that much. But no, so again, rhetorical question, just bringing it back. So that was one of the
PCOS.
See,
You're fine.
PCOS. So that was that one of the main drives? Again, just asking to make you start your fitness journey.
Yes.
So when you began, and you mentioned the weight loss and all that other stuff, the ego went straight up, didn't it? Especially. But anyway, now let me stop. What were some of the things I guess you experienced in the beginning of your fitness journey? Now, mind you, I understand that you have the soccer background, but when you actually started the gym,
right,
and before, again, is where we get to the meats.
Right.
We have the potatoes right now.
Right.
But before you got into powerlifting, that was one of the main factors and drives. So what were some of the things I guess you experienced in the beginning of your fitness journey? So
in the beginning of the fitness journey, I think that a lot of women are focused on, I want to see the scale move. I want to see the scale move, right? And I kind of got caught up in that a little bit, where I would step on the scale and I was like, how am I gaining weight, right? But my clothes were fitting better. And I could start to see that things were
getting stronger,
toning up, getting stronger.
Yeah.
And I started being able to, I remember the first time I shoulder pressed 45 pounds inside of a Planet Fitness. And I was like,
everybody stop and stare?
Right. I was like, maybe this is kind of my thing, you know? And I think that was just the catalyst to I want to lift as heavy as I can, you know, in anything, whether it be compound movements or just accessories, you know.
Gotcha. So what were, if you don't mind me asking, but what were some of the setbacks you faced? And I promise you, the same formula for the fitness journey is going to play into powerlifting, but what were some of the setbacks you may have faced in your fitness journey, whether it was the beginning, the middle, then was consistency one of them? Consistency
actually was never really a problem for me. I'm kind of like a dog with a bone. When I love something, I go after it and I don't stop. And so it truly has been a 3-year journey of me consistently being in the gym and just trying to find out what works for me. I think probably my worst thing is eating, is staying on top of my...
So it's a good thing I didn't bring the donuts in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
I got them, y'all. Just not on camera. You know what I'm saying?
No. And it was actually, I think for me, I personally don't take in enough. Which can...
So I should go grab them.
No, still on a cut.
Got you.
I personally don't take in enough, and that can just raise your stress levels and stuff like that in your body. And so I think that was probably one of my biggest things, is just still not hitting enough protein. And I think as women, most women would say they have a goal and they still don't hit their protein goal. You know what I mean? But other than that, being consistent with going to the gym wasn't a problem. I probably being consistent with taking the right supplements, like taking creatine, drinking enough water, those types of things. I mean,
definitely need those.
Right. Yeah. I think when you start changing your life like that, there are so many things that you have to think about when you're lifting weights. It's not just I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to lift some weights. No, it's okay, I'm going to hit my protein. I'm going to hit my hydration. I'm going to hit my mobility. I'm going to hit my creatine, you know? So I think that was probably a little confusing for me at first, and now it's not. Now it's like a science.
So you said it again. I'm gonna keep saying this throughout the whole interview. Attention span of a squirrel. So 3 years total. So was it what or who introduced you to the concept of powerlifting?
Okay.
And go with that, and then I'll do the. It'll stay in here. I got you. But
Okay.
go, yeah.
I'm trying to think for a second, actually.
Was it a fitness influencer? Was it somebody around here in Fayetteville?
Actually, so I remember my best friend, Bethany, she used to work at Hard Work Strength in Raleigh.
Okay.
And I remember kind of like just looking on Instagram what they were doing, what kind of gym it was, because she had told me she was working there.
Kilo weights, what's that?
Yeah, literally. No, literally. I'm like, what are these plates? So
and why are they colorful?
And why are they colorful?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sorry, yeah.
So I remember kind of seeing some stuff that they had posted on their Instagram and just being really, really inspired. And then I went to Fitness Connection, which is kind of my home gym before I started going to Worlds.
Yeah.
I know.
I flip-flop, but
but that was my first like barbell.
I won't give a damn, but you know the Fitness Connection really make Worlds. Now I'm fucking going to just
No.
Like, God damn, they shut down the basketball court again.
There's the shooting again.
Like Jesus. I'm kidding.
I actually was there the last time they had one, and we had to all be evacuated. And I was in the middle of my fucking workout. I was like, "You're kidding me!"
Like as soon as they took a sip too.
Right.
I couldn't have done this shit until I left. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But yeah.
No, but that was my first experience, kind of like seeing that on social media and then translating it in the gym. I had looked up an actual program by myself, and
so all this is all you.
Yeah, and I programmed myself in the beginning.
So you're your own coach.
Yeah, well, not now. I used to be.
Okay, so okay.
Back in the day. No, I have a coach now. Her name is Jade. Jade at night. She works or not works. She goes to Hard Work Strength. And she's amazing. Her and her husband Unan.
You're good at. Sorry, I'm again to just come. Good at retaining information, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I'm saying I need somebody to point me in the direction. I am so sorry.
You're fine.
Go ahead, yeah.
So anyway, I programmed myself. I looked at a couple of different programs. I did the Dead Simple program. It's you can like Google it. I can't remember who it's from, but you're literally like deadlifting 3 times a week, 4 times a week, something crazy like that. It's an insane amount. So many sets and reps and stuff. And I remember back then I was struggling with like 225, right?
What, deadlift was?
Yeah. I was absolutely struggling, and it's so funny now because like I think as powerlifters or people who lift weights in general, we can't really focus on like. We're constantly focusing on the next number instead of what we used to be able to do. You know what I mean? Compared to like what we do now.
Yeah, so it's like a never enough attitude because again, and so let me ask you something on that. You posed a really interesting question. Do you think it's really camaraderie? I feel like powerlifting is very healthy for the fitness community.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you know,
absolutely.
And I'm gonna still say it on camera, a little bit of a disdain for bodybuilding. But anyway, hey,
I appreciate it. I think bodybuilding is dope. Yeah. I could just never be that disciplined.
Yeah, me either.
What I have to be disciplined for powerlifting now is crazy. I can't even imagine trying to go that route.
Do you believe that the reason why lifters and powerlifters, even though there is a level of camaraderie in it, there's a level of competition between self and sometimes between the other powerlifter. Because again, it's kind of like, all right, I'm struggling either to squat this weight, deadlift it, or bench it, but my counterpart, and again, healthy competition, not on no real hate shit, but it's just like, I see my counterparts doing this and they're going through either the same struggle, same mentality. So if they can do it, there should be, I'm asking, but like, do you feel like that's where that drive comes from, where we don't appreciate, not gonna say appreciate, but it's kind of like, I was struggling with 115 2 weeks ago, but now I'm over here repping 135, but like I'm kicking my own ass because I couldn't hit 140.
Right.
Like, so do you think that's that was a lot, but do you think that's where that stems from?
No, I do. I think that it's a combination, at least for me personally, with competition, with comparison, and probably perfectionism.
Okay.
Like for me, I'll touch on the perfectionism part. My coach knows this. I'm sure she'll watch it and laugh as I say it. But if I don't like the way a set moves, so even my top set, I will make myself do it again.
That sounds like a coach mentality. Do it again!
Which is crazy. Yeah. And she is always like, but I only had it on there for one set. And I'm like, yeah, but it didn't look good. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
She's surprised that you go for the other set and actually hit it? I'm asking.
Yeah, no, she is surprised all the time. Or she'll text me and she's just like, yeah,
You're crazy. No,
you're crazy, yeah. She's like,
that.
that second set moved way better than your first one and blah, blah, blah. So, and what's funny is she does the same thing. So she has a crazy 250 something pound bench. She's wild. So I aspire to actually be like her, which I think is another reason why I kind of lean into that perfectionism. You know, she's very, very good at reminding me to slow down and enjoy the small wins, but she's also very good at like pushing me. Like right now in the off season, she's like, if you want to while out, go ahead, enjoy.
So empty the
have
whole
fun.
clip pretty much.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
But when it's prep season, she's absolutely like totally different. She's like, you need to get into a better mindset.
So this is just an assessment I made. I could be wrong and I could be misspeaking, but I think you have like a competitive nature.
I do.
Also, yeah,
I'm extremely competitive. I don't like to lose. I don't like to fail. I have a problem with failing.
Okay.
It's an issue.
So with that being said, everything that you have been introduced to in your fitness journey and now in the powerlifting, like, so this is where I touch with people who've competed. So who said, hey, get on the platform? Was that something you wanted to do, or did somebody plant that seed for you and say, hey, I think you should compete? Like how?
Right.
How did that happen for you to set up for your comp?
It was me.
Okay.
So
What was the motivating factor?
The motivating factor was the fact that I'm competitive.
Okay.
I just wanted to try it. I wanted to see if I could do it, really, was what it was. And so my first coach, Chelsea Haas, coached me all through my first prep and my first competition, and it was amazing. I went 9 for 9, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Before we get to that,
Yeah.
right? Hold on. What were certain? That way I don't skip over.
No,
nothing,
you're fine.
But, what were some things like how long was your prep for your comp?
12 weeks.
Okay, so what were some things you were introduced to in prep? Like, so like prime example, I learned certain terms like the fuck is a peak week, right? But anyway, yeah.
Right.
But what were some of the things in training and prep for your comp that you were introduced to that you weren't aware of before you got on that platform?
Right. So that's a great question. Like peaking, a deload, those types of
Yeah,
things.
the fuck are those?
I was like, what do you mean a deload? You know what I mean? Like, why am I in here hardly lifting anything? And then you don't realize how necessary it is for your body. You know what I mean?
Did that kind of irk you though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, have you ever seen those memes that like circulate on Instagram? It's like somebody with a sign on their shirt or whatever, and it says they don't know that I'm strong or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So
that was me for sure.
But with that being said, did you understand the concepts of the trend? Okay, yeah.
I did. She explained it to me really, really well, and how necessary it was, especially for your body to peak properly, which sometimes happens and sometimes doesn't, especially as the numbers get higher. But yeah, I think that's probably the only thing that I didn't really know, besides working on commands, obviously.
May I? So, again, apologize if. Tell me to tone it down if I'm.
No, you're fine.
But so with the commands, right? Because I had a rude awakening when I was introduced to those. Again, I haven't powerlifted yet or anything.
Right.
But again, I'm learning. So when you were introduced to the concept of commands and lifting in powerlifting, like what was your thought process? Like, did you feel like, were you in for? Did you have like a rude awakening with certain weights that you were already used to lifting with, like touch and go versus holding it up for a second,
right,
letting it touch your chest,
right,
then pressing it, and then waiting for that re-rack command? Like was it like a culture shock, if that makes sense?
It wasn't, and I think it's because my former coach Chelsea was so good at making sure that I did things like tempo. Okay. I made sure I did 2 count pauses, 3 count pauses on your chest. All that stuff. I think that she really prepared me and like instilled in me that this was not going to be something that freaked me out on the platform, you know, like especially I want to say around maybe 8 weeks out, she had me saying them in my head, basically. So I would
commands for all of them.
The commands for all of them. Anytime I did a compound movement, I was waiting 1 to 2 seconds before I even did the next thing. So like you're squatting, you'd unrack, you'd wait, you'd stand there for like 3 seconds, right? Brace as you've gotten the squat command, brace, squat, stand there after you've completed your squat, and then rack. So I just always made myself take my time.
Got you. All right, so forgive me for bringing it back like that. It's just, I would have forgot the question.
No, you're fine.
So the day of comp, right? Like you did all this training, blood, sweat. I'm pretty sure there was some tears in there too. I ain't met
There
nobody.
was.
You know, the psyche build up. So like the day of, after weigh-ins, like where was your headspace at? Like what expectations did you set for yourself in comp? Did you meet them? And you know, where were your feelings at? We'll go there because I know. Yeah.
So for my first one, I was excited and nervous.
Okay.
After weigh-ins, it just felt surreal,
Okay.
right? And that whole day, that energy, there's nothing like a first competition. And I feel like anybody will tell you that.
Okay.
That first competition is just so fun.
Okay.
You're full of adrenaline and like healthy fear, you know, stuff like that.
Okay.
And
But you was definitely on go mode, weren't you?
oh yeah,
I got
yeah.
you,
I
got
was
you.
on full send and I loved it and it was amazing. The second one, I knew what to expect and I was taking it very seriously because I had trained for so long. The weights get heavier, you know.
So wait, you've done 2 or 1?
I've done 2. Okay. Yeah, I've done 2. And my second one was completely different than my first one. To where the first one I went 9 for 9. The second one I went 6 for 9.
I got you.
First one I didn't place at all because it was baby weights, and the second one I took first. So, which happens?
Is the way you just ill?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit! So I apologize.
You're fine.
On the first one, right? Like so, like what expectations did you set for yourself, and did you meet those expectations?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I did. I had talked with my coach about being somewhat conservative, going 9 for 9, not missing any commands.
Okay.
And that was so important to me. And I didn't. I went out there. I wanted to make her look good. I think that's another thing that's really important as an athlete is to also make your coach look good for future, you know, clients or whatever. And
make sure the brand looks immaculate.
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I wanted to represent her well. And my technique was flawless. Everything was flawless. And that's why I ended up going 9 for 9. And it was important to me. I did feel like towards the end of competition, maybe like the day after, I had more left to give on the platform. But
You went to the gym the next day, didn't you?
I did actually.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
go to the gym the next day. And then my second one, I was like, I'm leaving everything that I have. And I actually ended up missing all of my thirds on my second competition.
So allow me to ask that. So I'm gonna bring it from the first to the second. So when you did your first comp, and you know, because a lot of people be like, well, now she's a powerlifter because she's, you know, number certified, all that other stuff.
Right.
Like, what was the level of achievement that you had? I'm bringing it to the second one in a second.
Yeah.
What was the level of achievement that you had after your first comp?
You mean like numbers?
No. What the
level.
level, like
Okay.
for yourself? Like,
Oh,
okay,
for myself.
you went through all this hard training, right?
Yeah.
Like, what were your feelings of? Was there like a feeling of accomplishment?
Oh
where you
yeah.
did that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I want to speak on that.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was huge feelings of accomplishment, pride in myself.
Okay.
My children were there, you know,
Hey,
and
cheering
so
on mama with the
yeah,
signs and shit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son was he's my youngest, my son, and I remember him after I was done with my first. I think my first bench or something like that, I could hear him. And he told me after competition that he wanted to be strong like his mom. And I was like,
Oh, so future bodybuilding.
yeah,
The power. Y'all heard what I said.
yo, I will support whatever he wants to do.
Say less.
But
Never know,
yeah,
it could be a strong man. We're in the kill.
you never know. I would be so fine with that.
I got you.
No.
Hercules. So look, Ma, look what I'm getting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got
Look
you.
what I do. But yeah, I think having my children there and watching what I did and my accomplishments was like a huge thing for me. Also my friends, you know. And I just took a lot of pride in all of it. It was awesome.
So for the second one, I'm asking, how badly did you beat yourself up?
It was awful. It was
Okay.
pretty bad. In fact, I was pretty upset.
Okay.
And I had a friend who basically was like, cut the shit,
Okay.
you know, and it was really encouraging. And I will never forget what he was talking to me about that day. And I was beating myself up and being negative. And he was just like, take the fucking win. You know what I mean? And that meant everything to me because he was right. Sometimes I can get in my own head and be an overthinker and like really, really negative. And when he just told me to like take the win and be proud of myself, I was like, all right, cool. Like he's absolutely right. I should be proud of myself. And it's rare that people will spend 12 weeks training. It's even more rare that somebody will step out on a platform in front of so many people and give it their all.
So if you don't mind me asking, with the highs and the lows in powerlifting, rhetorical question, is this something that you want to continue with?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
what is your, I guess, overall goal with powerlifting? Is it just to compete, or is there like some accolades you kind of want to?
So there are definitely some accolades that I want to achieve. Obviously, I think everybody when they're powerlifting wants best lifter. It's just like that's the best award that you can receive. Some competitions have monetary stuff. I've looked into changing different federations, although I'm not sure which route I would go. Plus, there seems to be like so much drama. I think that would be like a coach decision for me personally.
If you don't mind me asking, I've heard it from both sides, male and female. Like when you, what do you mean by drama? Like so, I haven't competed. Again, I don't know. I don't want nobody to come at me when they see the title, but so each federation is like. When I had, you know who Travis is?
Yeah.
Wilson? Okay, so when I interviewed him and we in his interview we were talking about federations, like to me how I understood it was like, bro, it's just one uses a bar where you could pull out slack, one doesn't, like how. And then on top of that, I'm thinking there's like 3-4 federations. Apparently,
No,
there's definitely not.
There's so many.
So why is there drama? How is there more drama in the federations, but not the powerlifting community itself?
Yeah, that's what doesn't quite make sense to me. Like me personally, so I don't know a lot about the drama just because I'm still such a noob, you know?
Green a little bit.
Yeah,
but
still green.
Yeah.
But I do know personally that a lot of people are upset with USAPL because of some drama that's going on where they allowed a competitor and like maybe a coach to keep competing, keep coaching, and be a part of the federation when he shouldn't have been. I think that there's like some issues with holding people accountable, and but I really don't know much about it, and like it is what it is.
But
for me personally,
it's so big that everybody. Okay, yeah,
exactly. It's so big that it's causing a lot of drama. And then I know that there was another split that just happened, and I'm not even sure what the reason was. I have no idea, but I just know that there's a huge split and everybody's talking about it, and I just kind of
the federation, like when you say split, like it's not
split into two federations. So it was one federation and split into another one, and I can't remember the name of it, but it literally just recently happened.
Do you make sure the wordplay, you know, words have
right?
Powerlifting community to me is very, very healthy because it's about the individuals. Because at the end of the day, we all want to see somebody strong, male or female, lift some heavy ass weight.
Absolutely.
But do you feel like maybe the federations are a little bit toxic for the community? And the reason why I ask this is because it's kind of like, okay, can we keep going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, say less. 1 second. Can't multitask. I'm at the clock again. Hold on, that was 30 minutes, by the way, so I'm on for both of us. Are you having fun, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, say less.
This is fun.
But do you feel like within the federations, the reason why I'm asking you just personal, like whatever they got going on, cool, and hopefully I can adapt when I get on the platform.
Absolutely.
But do you feel like the reason why the federations are whether one's splitting onesies and twosies, okay, we're gonna go this way or go that way. Do you feel like the federations are doing that because they're trying to be the top? Like, hey, I'm part of this federation. Well, I'm part of this federation. Well, this federation has this.
Right.
Yeah. Do you?
I mean, that could be part of it. Like I said, personally, I'm still so green that I'm not sure. I do think that the most recent split was because they're trying to build like a family-like community within powerlifting. They don't want the negativity that was, I guess, coming from the other federation. And I feel like I see most commonly that the splits are happening because people are seeing whatever's negative inside of that federation and wanting to change it. So I still feel like it's a positive thing. I'm sure it's just annoying to people like me who are new and they're like, oh crap, what federation should I even compete with? You know, because me personally, I've done 2 competitions in the USAPL and they're great. They've been fine. But then you hear kind of about the drama that's within the USAPL and you're like, oh shit, you know? that's just me personally. I am looking into different federations to see which kind of route I should go. I really, really want to come back to the platform with 1,000-pound total or more and compete in 75 kg.
You definitely got it, which is kind of crazy. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we'll be there soon, and I'm excited. And I want to compete at a lower weight class. I was in the 90, and now I'm in the 75 kg soon, and that's kind of what I want. Unfortunately, I'm kind of screwing myself there because it seems like the strongest lifters are in 75 kg, but
yeah, but your competitive spirit is
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
No,
Exactly. No, for sure.
Last thing on the federation, then I'm gonna move it. Get to the dessert. That's everybody's favorite part. But now, do you feel like if you ever left just this one federation, it would be hard for you to adapt to another because you've been with this federation so long? Apparently, like there's like there are certain credentials each federation has.
Right.
So do you feel like if it ever came down to you leaving one federation, it would be hard for you to adapt to a new one?
I think that it would be a little bit difficult only because my coach strictly competes in USAPL. And so I think that I would probably have to find a different coach to go that route if I wanted to. And I know she would be completely fine with that and supportive. I think once you have a good coach, they also become your friend and just supportive of whatever goals that you have. And so, yeah, it would be difficult. It would be difficult to figure out which federation to join. The rules of some federations are vastly different than others. It tends to be, though, that the majority across the board, you might have to get used to like a deadlift bar or something like that, but the commands are all the same,
So, the desserts, got you. So, what are some things, and it's like a 4-part question, but I promise you I'll make it make sense. So, in your fitness journey, with everything that you've had to deal with, the highs, the lows, the accomplishments, I'll save that towards the end. It's actually, but no, I'm sorry, yeah. But like, what are some things in the whole aspect of fitness? What are some things you like about fitness, and what are some things you dislike about it? Whether it be in person, social media, things that you. What are some things you like and dislike about fitness?
Okay, I'll go with likes first. Likes, I feel like when you're in fitness in general, whether that be bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, whatever, it makes you mentally tough. It makes you, it translates into every area of your life, to where I found myself change even in the last 3 years, to where before I had a lot of people pleasing tendencies, and to now I'm now I'm way more mentally tough, to where I won't allow people to treat me a certain way.
So you're not scared to say no more?
Oh, absolutely not.
I bet you spent your out? No.
Right. I really take my time now and really consider all options and think things through. Before, I felt like I was more people pleasing and maybe a little impulsive, and now I feel like I'm not like that as much.
In life in general, and fitness just in general?
Just in general. And I think that the gym, weightlifting, powerlifting kind of translates over to that, to where you just learn, I guess, to be more mentally tough. How to make yourself more disciplined.
Gotcha. Things that you dislike about it?
Dislike, I hate trends. I think it's really, really annoying.
Which one? The TikTokers? I'm kidding.
Yeah. A lot of the influencers and trends, and the most common one I think probably for women, 4 weeks to a better booty, and it's like, no, bitch, you have to eat your protein and your carbs, and then you gotta work hard for that ass.
They had surgery. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
So
right.
If you allow me to touch on that, just as a whole, do you feel like with that's misinformation at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
And somebody young, older, that naive to the game, do you feel like that could be a detriment?
It's a huge detriment. Okay. I mean, I found myself in the beginning of my fitness journey following certain influencers and being like, oh man, comparison.
They were fucking liars.
Yeah, they're absolute liars. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, comparison is the thief of joy. And when you're constantly putting yourself up against somebody else, it's not going to be the same. And I think you have to learn how to love yourself where you're at. Like I'm 5 foot and thick. I'm never going to look like so-and-so on social media. You know what I mean? And that's okay. I'm confident within myself. And I have daughters. I have 4 daughters, 3 which are teenagers and are constantly being bombarded with like, look like this, look like this, look like this.
The
And I'm
imagery
like,
of it all.
exactly. And I'm
Okay.
like, no, be healthy, be strong. That's
Be
it.
happy?
Be happy.
Yes,
Exactly.
ma'am. Got you. All right. That was, I guess, like the rice and the broccoli or whatever, meat, potatoes again. So what are some things you like about powerlifting and what are some things you dislike?
Oh man, I love a good PR.
Say less.
I
In
love
comp or in training?
in either one.
Okay.
I had a small PR in my last comp. I had a 336 squat. And it was everything, even though
Back. But yeah, I'm sorry.
even though it was just a 6-pound PR, it was a platform PR, a 6-pound PR. But I remember the first time that I got a huge PR from training for so long, and it was 330 pounds. And my coach now at the time just slapped it on. And I had no idea what was on the bar.
Did you look at? Oh no, you didn't. Okay, because you didn't know.
Because
Okay,
I didn't know. Because
okay,
I trained with pounds.
Okay.
You're like, I'm the peasant's pounds, right? And so I had no idea what was on the bar, and I squatted it, and I remember racking it, and I was just in tears. Like that was the one time I've actually ever cried from a PR. I'm not a crier. But I remember just
Board
sitting
tough, yeah.
sitting down and just bawling. And she was like, bitch, that was 330 pounds. And I had no clue. And it meant everything to me.
Okay, so why would? Okay, cool. Yeah. So things that you dislike about it. If there is anything to dislike.
No,
about it.
there are a lot of things that you can dislike.
In the realm of powerlifting.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I feel like for me personally, like it's never enough. You know what I mean? I feel like, sure, you had a 336, pound squat, but you missed your 341 for your third attempt. So you're actually not good enough. You know what I mean? Which is so stupid. I feel like that's the one thing that I really dislike for me personally is the constant want to get better instead of just enjoying the journey. And so I think it's really important to just like slow down.
Based on this conversation we had, I like, they are interviews, y'all, but this conversation we had based off the energy, the temperament, and don't worry, them numbers gonna come up. We both know this.
Yeah.
Last thing, and then I'm gonna move it on to a question. What are some things you personally want to see change in powerlifting? Again, regardless if you're green or not, you have the knowledge, sis. So, what are some things you personally want to see changed in powerlifting?
I personally would like to just see people be maybe a little bit less cliquey, just more open.
Is that bad?
There are some things to where I've noticed that people can be a little bit cliquey, like, oh, so and so doesn't bench blah blah blah, like they're not cool or whatever.
So they can't.
It's like you can't sit with us type of mentality,
Right.
and which is like lame because everybody starts somewhere. You know, I feel like it's more common.
That's really
with
a thing in the
men.
realm of powerlifting?
I think it's more common with men than it is with women, because women tend to all be cheerleaders for each other, which is incredible. But honestly, besides that, I think that it would be really cool to see some local things start happening to where people are meeting up and lifting together. I think I talked to a few friends actually recently, and I was going to mention it to Tariq about, I think it would be really dope. Yeah. I think it would be really cool if we did even something here at Worlds, like we took a Sunday and once a month or something like that, and we just lifted all together, like did like an SBD day or whatever, just shoot the shit and hang out and lift.
I think they do that. I do know. Okay, well, no, never mind. I'm misspeaking. I don't know, but I think they still do that to an extent. I don't want to misspeak.
Right.
Again, I'm kind of shy and scared of people, believe it or not. So I stay. But I watch and I see, and like I said, I'm gonna go off on. Give me 60 seconds to go off on a tangent. I see people, and one thing I've learned in my journey, I don't know what type of journey it is, but one thing I've learned in my journey, there is a struggle, but there is a level of triumph at the end.
Oh, absolutely.
There's some triumph that you've brought to my channel, and my channel is come one, come all. Somebody, and even if they're not a power lifter, like some of that P word thing that you mentioned earlier, somebody's going to hear that and they're going to get inspired.
I hope
so. Just like bringing it full circle, I do believe that they still do that. It's just whether it's time confliction, clicks or whatever, it's still done. You just got to catch them on a good day. And based on what you just said, I'm pretty sure you'll get that.
Yeah.
And I will say this, based on everybody I've seen, Tyreek and his crew, Primal Instinct, Storm and the youngins he trained with, like again, at the end of the day, that there is a level of camaraderie, and I love that in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Done with my tangent.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Storm is awesome. He has actually been one of my biggest supporters. Him and Tariq too. Even though neither one of them are my coaches,
they love to see you.
They love to see me eat, and they're so supportive. With my daughter as well, because my daughter also power lifts.
The 16-year-old or one of the youngins?
She's 12.
Oh, so my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. She competed the same day that I did, actually.
Oh, shit.
It was really cool.
So coming up with more. So do you feel like that's a good influence on the youngins? And the only reason
absolutely.
I ask that is because, again, seeing their mom or dad or whoever, seeing their parent do that, and we know how this realm is. Right. But do you think like that's good information being put out versus the negative that we do see on TikTok? Okay,
right, absolutely. I 100%. And I think that's another thing that I'd probably like to see kind of start happening within powerlifting is more, teens, younger.
Properly, not
properly, not misuse, but getting under a good coach, getting under a parent, whatever, and just saying, hey, like most teens or youth are in some kind of sport. Powerlifting is a sport, and it's to be had, and there's so far to go in the sport of powerlifting, and I would love to see more kids get involved. I think it's dope, especially young women. I think that's incredible. I feel like watching my daughter train for, she only did like a 9-week training because she was also playing soccer at the time. But watching her train for 9 weeks and step on the platform and nail every single thing and have a PR on every single lift.
Proud.
Yeah, so proud as a parent, but watching her just be so proud of herself and fall in love with it. And then immediately go, okay, what's next? Like, what are we doing next in this sport? And I was just like, all right, cool,
So closing comments for me, before I move it on to the questionnaire, is there anybody or anything, influencer, people that you want to shout out? Is there any words of encouragement for, you're really talking to me, but you also could be talking to my audience, words of encouragement for people who are struggling to finally get on that platform?
Yeah.
Any piece of advice you can give us?
Yeah. So shout outs for sure are Storm and Tariq. Tariq and Destiny, Travis, my friend Kayla.
That's my favorite part of the interview.
My friend Kayla, she's absolutely incredible and is encouraging me constantly. And then I know like Cole from Primal Instincts puts out a lot of great information, which is really cool. Like I was having some shoulder pain from doing low bar, and he was like, work on your biceps. He was like, I know, like, just do it. And I did it, and he was right. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just a mobility thing. It was like just a weakness that I had. So that was just dope. And it wasn't like, hey, I want to coach you. It was just like, here's some advice from lifter to lifter, which was really kind. And probably advice is just do it. If you can lift the bar, you can compete.
Shia LaBeouf, now let me start.
Yeah, just do it. If you can lift the bar, you can compete. You already won before you even step on the platform. Like I said before, training 12 weeks and stepping on the platform is already fucking win.
Okay.
So
allow me to hit you. It's a shout out to my boy Mitch. It's a rapid fire. I'm gonna set the clock for 60 seconds, and I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. And after that, this painful, annoying process is finally over.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Time starts now. 60 seconds. Rest day or cheat meal?
Cheat meal.
Conventional deadlift or sumo?
Conventional.
Energy drink or coffee?
Energy drink.
Cardio or sauna?
Sauna.
Bulgarian split squats or hip thrust?
Hip thrust.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me, you need that for the deadlifts. Bodybuilding or strongman?
Strongman.
Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Rock and roll or hip hop?
Oh, damn. Yo, that's hard. Rock and roll.
Pop culture. Now, let me start.
No, rock and roll.
Got you. 1 rep max or repetition?
Oh, 1 rep max.
Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network.
Say less. Samantha, again, thank you so much for giving me your time in the sit down. Thank you for telling your story. I'm inspired, and I tell anybody that another reason why I'm very humble and thankful is because you're helping me get out of my shell.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
people don't realize about me, but big motherfucker scared.
Yeah.
You know, and you along with the rest of my fitness community in Fayetteville, North Carolina, are helping me get out of my shell with people.
Right.
Still got a long ways to go, but you contributed to helping me, and for that I'm very, very grateful.
Awesome.
Thank you
You
for
did
coming to
great.
my channel. All right, and we are out.
Yay! We did it. Too awkward.